Hello, dear students. Thank you for the immense support that you all are giving me. It gives me the real motivation to work hard. So today, dear students, we'll be starting with electric current through conductor. Before that, I would request all of you to share, subscribe, and like this video. Make sure that you send the link of this channel to all your friends so that more and more people will come to know about this channel. I am really working very hard only for you. I need your support, dear students. Make sure that everyone from your college comes to know about this channel. That we have started a live free online sessions for 11th and 12th standard from NEET and JEE point of view. Right now, I am taking the crash course for 11th standard syllabus. But very soon, as I have promised, we are starting with the 12th standard syllabus. So stay tuned, and these sessions will be benefited from both 11th standard as well as 12th standard point of view. So both 11th standard as well as 12th standard students can watch the videos and learn the tricks and techniques by which they can solve the MCQ questions really fast. So let's enjoy the video. So students, when charges flow through conductors, the rate at which the charges are flowing through the conductors is called as current electricity. That we already know. Definition of electric current. Electric current means rate of flow of charges. The rate at which the charges are flowing through a conductor, that rate of flow of charges, students, is called as electric current. Now, if I consider that Q amount of charges flows through a cross-sectional area of the wire in time t. In time t, Q charges flows through the wire. Then we can say that the value of the electric current through the wire is I is equals to Q by T. Rate at which charges flow through a cross-sectional area of the wire. Wire किसी cross-sectional area में से how many charges are flowing per second? That rate at which the charges flow is called as current electricity. Now, students, we know that. Let's consider just a moment that this is a wire. So this wire, dear students, will look cylindrical in shape. The wire is always cylindrical in shape, like this. So through this wire, charges are flowing. So let's assume that this is a cross-sectional area of the wire. So through this cross-sectional area, charges are flowing. So if and when I say charges, it means that only electrons. Charges are flowing through the wire, which means that only electrons are flowing. Protons don't flow. They are immobile. So 100% what are flowing is electrons. So if I say that through this cross-sectional area in time t, n electrons, n number of electrons flow through this cross-sectional area, then students, instead of Q, it becomes n into E. I repeat, n number of electrons अगर हमारे cross-sectional area में से flow कर जाए in time t, if n number of electrons flow through the cross-sectional area of the wire in time t, then the value of the electric current becomes Ne divided by T, where N is the number of electrons which are flowing through the cross-sectional area of the wire, and E is the charge of the wire. So if N number of electrons flows through the cross-sectional area of the wire in time t, then current electricity becomes Ne by T. This is a very important formula from entrance point of view. Okay. दूसरा, rate of flow of charge through the wire is also called as dq by dt. dq by dt. So dq by dt means the derivative of charge with respect to time. dq by dt. That is current electricity I. Rate at which charges flow through the wire. dq by dt. So dear students, if current is dq by dt, so from this you can get the value of q. कैसे? तो अगर तुमको q चाहिए तो dt चला जाएगा ऊपर on the left hand side. So you should get I into dt. But understand, when you do I into dt, what you get is dq. When you do I into dt, you get a dq. So dq is equals to I into dt. But we are not interested in dq. हमको dq नहीं चाहिए. हमको क्या चाहिए? हमको चाहिए q. How to get q? If I want to find the value of q, dear students, from dq I want to get the value of q, then we should integrate it. So integration of dq will give us q, and integration of dq is nothing but integration of I into dt. So integration of I dt is q, that is the charge which is flowing through the wire. Okay, so charge q is integration of I into dt. Understood? So this is the basic definition of current electricity. Now let's start with MCQs. So let's read the question. 10 million electrons flow through a cross-sectional area of the wire from point P of the wire to point Q of the wire. From point P to point Q, 10 million electrons are flowing. And these electrons are flowing through the wire in 1 microsecond. 1 microsecond. What is the value of the current and what is the direction of that current? So first let's find the value of the current. We know that current I is equals to rate at which charges flow through the wire. So rate at which charges flow through the wire, which means that it is Q divided by T. And dear students, we know that Q is nothing but number of electrons which are flowing through the wire multiplied by charge of 1 electron, and that is divided by T, right? So we are supposed to find the value of I. So let's substitute all the values which are there. N, that is number of electrons, is 10 million. 1 million, dear students, is 10 raised to 6. So 10 million becomes 10 raised to 7. So N ke jagah pe 10 raised to 7 into E. So E is charge of 1 electron, and charge of 1 electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. That is the charge of 1 electron. 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. And that is divided by time. So in how much time this is occurring? 1 microsecond. Micro means 10 raised to minus 6. Micro is 10 raised to minus 6. Right. So this 10 raised to minus 6 goes up. It becomes 10 raised to plus 6. 10 raised to plus 6 with 10 raised to plus 7 becomes 10 raised to 13. 10 raised to 13 into 10 raised to minus 19. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that becomes 10 raised to minus 6, right? So you have 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 6 ampere. So if you will look at the options now, students, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 6 ampere is only one option, that is option C. But still, let's understand how to find the direction of the current. Dear students, electrons जो हमारे wire में से flow कर रहे हैं is negative. Electrons which are flowing through the wire is negative. तो conventional direction of current ऐसा सोचा गया कि the conventional current becomes positive. In the entire chapter of current electricity, we assume current to be positive. So this conventional direction of correction will always be opposite to the direction of the flow of electrons. Conventional direction of current will always be opposite to the direction of the flow of electrons. मतलब electrons जिस direction में flow करेगा, conventional current हमने positive सोचा will flow in the opposite direction to that of the flow of electrons. So electrons are flowing from P to Q, that is given in the question. So if electrons are flowing from P to Q as given in the question, so the conventional current which we have considered to be positive will flow from Q to P. So the correct answer is definitely option C. So it's always good if you write that conventional current always flow opposite to the direction of flow of electrons. Electrons, dear students, are considered to be negative and conventional current is considered to be positive. So we have considered that the direction of the conventional current is opposite to the direction of the flow of electrons. So electrons are flowing from P to Q. So your conventional current should flow from Q to P, right? So let's read the question. In the question, they're telling that current is flowing through a wire, and the equation of the current which is flowing through the wire is I is equals to 3t square minus 3t plus 1. This is the current which is flowing through the wire. So in the question, they are asking how much charge will cross through that wire. How much charge will cross if the time interval that we are considering is 3 seconds to 5 seconds. In a time interval of 3 seconds to 5 seconds, how many charges will cross the wire? So we know that I, that is current, is equals to dq by dt. We know that, right? So if current I is equals to dq by dt, then from this, students, we can say that dq, that is the number of charges, will be equals to I into dt. But dear students, what I told you that in order to find the value for the entire charge, पूरा charge अगर निकालना है, so we will integrate both sides. So we can say that q will be equals to integration limits 3 to 5. So starting from 3 to 5. So integration limits from 3 to 5, I into dt. That is the value of entire charge q. Now let's substitute the value of I which is there. So instead of I, we will write it is integration of 2t square minus 3t plus 1. Agreed? 2t square minus 3t plus 1. That is the value of I. And we are integrating it from 3 to 5. Now, integration formula, dear students, हमको मालूम रहना चाहिए integration of x raised to n dx. Integration of x raised to n dx is x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. That is the value for integration. Integration of x raised to n dx is x raised to n plus 1 whole divided by n plus 1. X raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. That is the value of the integration of x raised to n dx. So using this formula, dear students, we can get this answer. So 2 हमारा constant है, तो 2 को बाहर लेते हैं. Integration of t square, x raised to n is 2 right now, t square, right? So n is 2. So it is x raised to 2 dx. So that will be x raised to 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1. This is dt. dt was there na? At the end. dt indicates that we have to integrate with respect to t. We're supposed to integrate this equation with respect to t. So that means that it is 2 is outside. So integration of t square is t raised to 2 plus 1. That is t raised to 3 divided by 2 plus 1. That is again 3. Agreed? And what is the limits, my dear students? From 3 to 5. 3 to 5. That is the limits. Minus 3. Constant, it is coming out. Integration of t. Integration of t will be t square by 2. Integration of t is t square by 2. So that becomes the value for integration of 3t. And the limits that we have is from 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Plus integration of 1 into dt. 1 into dt means it is only dt. And integration of dt is t. Integration of dt is t. So dear students, we should get 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Okay. So what we are supposed to get is upper limit substitution minus lower limit substitution. So t के जगह पे 5 डालो. Upper limit substitution. That becomes 5 cube minus 3 cube. Upper limit substitution minus lower limit substitution. That is 5 cube minus 3 cube divided by 3. And in front of it, you have 2. Right. Then what you have is minus 3 by 2. Again, upper limit substitution minus lower limit substitution. So upper limit is 5. So that becomes 5 square. Minus lower limit is 3. So that becomes 3 square. Plus, instead of t, we will say it is upper limit substitution, that is 5, minus lower limit substitution, that is 3. That is 5 minus 3. Cool. Now, let's solve it. So upper limit substitution, 5 cube. So 5 cube kitna ho jayega? 125. If we get 125, then we should get the value for q will be equal to 2 by 3 bracket ke andar 5 cube, that is 125, minus 3 cubed, that is 27. 125 minus 27. Minus, you have 3 by 2. And within the bracket, you have 5 square minus 3 square. So 5 square means 25. Minus 3 square is 9. It is minus 3 by 2. Within the bracket, it is 25 minus 9. And the last term that you have is plus 5 minus 3, that is 2. Right? So this becomes equals to 98. This subtraction gives you 98. And in front of it, you have 2 by 3. Right? Minus, you have 3 by 2 into 16. 25 minus 9, that is 16. And you have plus 2. Agreed. So 2 8s are 16. 2 8s are 16. And 8 3s are 24. So minus 24 plus 2 is minus 22. And here you have, let's first divide it by 3 and then we'll multiply it by 2. So we should get 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are 6, 3 6 are 18, 7. So it is 32.67 minus 22. And let's multiply that with 2. So 2 7s are 14, 2 6 are 12, plus 1, 13, 2 2s are 4, plus 1, 5, 2 3s are 6. So 65.34 minus 22. So that is 5 minus 2, 3, and 6 minus 2, that is 4. So 43.34. 43.34 coulomb, because you're finding charge, right? So finding charge, then the correct answer is option B, 43.34 coulomb. So this is a very important kind of question in which हम लोगों को question में current दिया जाता है and charge पूछते हैं. So we should remember that dq is I into dt. So entire charge will be integration of I into dt. Right. Let's move on to the next question. In the question, they are telling that a current flowing through the wire varies according to the equation of I is equals to 4 plus 2t. This is the current, students. So in the question, they are asking, what is the quantity of charge which will flow through that wire? And time period is 2 seconds to 6 seconds. 2 seconds to 6 seconds. Again, the same thing. We say that I is equals to dq by dt. So if I is equals to dq by dt and charge पूछा है, so we will write it in terms of dq. So we can say that dq, the charge which is flowing through the wire, dq is equals to I into dt. I into dt. अब कैसा है ना students, हम लोगों को total charge निकालना है. So we will say it is q and that will be equals to integration of the above equation. Integration कहाँ से कहाँ होगा? 2 to 6. 2 to 6. The limits are 2 to 6. So integration from 2 to 6, we have I into dt. Let's substitute what is I. So instead of I, students, they have told it is 4 plus 2t. Instead of I, it is 4 plus 2t. So we have 4 plus 2t. And outside it, we have dt. It is dt. Right. Now let's integrate it. तो हम कहेंगे 4 कांस्टेंट है, वो बाहर चला जाएगा, तो बचा क्या? बचा तुम्हारा dt, ब्रैकेट के अंदर आ जाएगा, तो इट इज ओनली dt. dt का इंटीग्रेशन इज t. dt का इंटीग्रेशन इज t. So we should get 4 into t within the limits of 2 to 6. Within the limits of 2 to 6 plus 2 into t का इंटीग्रेशन, स्टूडेंट्स, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ t वो कितना आएगा? So integration of t will be t raised to 1 plus 1, that is t raised to 2 upon 1 plus 1, that is 2. So t square by 2, that is integration of t. And within the limits, we have 2 to 6. Within the limits of 2 to 6. Agreed. So we'll say that it is upper limit substitution minus lower limit substitution. So that should be 4 into 6 minus 2 upper limit minus lower limit. So that is 4 into 6 minus 2 plus you have t square. So substitute the values. Upper limit, that is 6 square, minus lower limit, that is 2 square. So 6 square minus 2 square. So 6 minus 2 is 4 and 4 4 is 16 plus we will say that it is 6 square, which is 36, minus 2 square, which is 4. Agreed. So dear students, 36 minus 4, that should give me 32, and 32 plus 16. 32 plus 16. So that is 8 and यहाँ पे 4. So 48 coulomb is the charge. 48 coulomb is the charge. Option is B. So please pay attention. In the question, they are telling that there is a graph for voltage against current. Voltage against current का ग्राफ है. Voltage against current का ग्राफ है. तो हम लोगों से पूछा जा रहा है, पहला जो ग्राफ है T1 वाला, वो टेम्परेचर T1 पे ग्राफ प्लॉट किया गया, एंड दूसरा जो ग्राफ है T2 वाला, वो टेम्परेचर T2 पे ग्राफ प्लॉट किया गया है. सेम कंडक्टर के लिए ओहम्स लॉ का ग्राफ प्लॉट कर किया गया है. पहला वाला ग्राफ हमने प्लॉट किया T1 टेम्परेचर पे, दूसरा ग्राफ प्लॉट किया T2 टेम्परेचर पे. तो T1 T2 के बीच में क्या रिलेशन है? सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी शुड रिमेंबर दैट जो हमारा वोल्टेज होता है according to Ohm's law, that is directly proportional to current. Voltage is directly proportional to current. So if voltage is directly proportional to current, then it means that the graph should be a straight line passing through origin. V against I का जो graph होगा students, that should be a straight line passing through origin. So let me plot the graph that is there. So हम लोग ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि ये y axis है, हम लोग ऐसा बोल सकते हैं ये x axis है. Agreed. तो जो y एक्सिस है डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वो क्वेश्चन में दिया गया, दैट इज v, एंड जो x एक्सिस है वो क्वेश्चन में दिया गया, दैट इज i. ओके, सो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल है, सो इट शुड बी अ स्ट्रेट लाइन पासिंग थ्रू ओरिजिन. सो दिस इज द ग्राफ. अगर हम T1 टेम्परेचर पे सोच रहे हैं तो फिर T2 वाला भी देख लेंगे. पहले T1 का देखते हैं. तो कैसा है ना स्टूडेंट्स, इस ग्राफ का, ये जो स्ट्रेट लाइन है, इस ग्राफ का व्हाट इज द स्लोप? व्हाट इज द स्लोप? स्लोप ऑफ द ग्राफ. तो अगर हमको स्लोप चाहिए, according to straight line condition, we know that y is equals to mx, जहाँ पे m होता है slope. Y is equals to mx. M is the slope. So can we say that m मतलब slope is equals to y divided by x? Of course. तो अगर slope is y by x students, तो y क्या है? v. Y is v. And what is x? X is I. X is I. Right. So we can say that slope is v by I. लेकिन dear students, अगर मैं इस ओहम्स लॉ को v डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू i को इक्वल टू में लिखूं, if I write it in terms of equal to, then I can say that voltage is equals to a constant, जिसको resistance बोलते हैं, into I. So I will get resistance R is equals to V by I. So that means that V by I is nothing but resistance. V by I क्या है? कंडक्टर का रेजिस्टेंस. मतलब कि स्टूडेंट्स V by I ना लिखते हुए we can say that इस ग्राफ का जो स्लोप है, that is equals to resistance. ग्राफ का जो स्लोप है, that is equals to resistance. The slope of this graph is equals to resistance. So अगर आप ध्यान से देखो, हम लोगों को दो ग्राफ दिया गया, एक T1 टेम्परेचर पे एंड T2 टेम्परेचर पे. अभी सवाल ये आता है कि किसका स्लोप ज्यादा है. तो स्लोप मतलब इंक्लिनेशन फ्रॉम एक्स एक्सिस. इंक्लिनेशन फ्रॉम एक्स एक्सिस. तो एक्स एक्सिस से इंक्लिनेशन ये कम है एंड यहाँ पे इंक्लिनेशन ज्यादा है. मतलब स्टूडेंट्स क्लियरली वी कैन से दैट स्लोप फॉर टेम्परेचर T1 इज मोर एंड स्लोप फॉर टेम्परेचर T2 इज लेस. इंक्लिनेशन कम है ना स्टूडेंट्स. सो वी कैन से दैट स्लोप SL means slope for temperature T1 is greater than slope, SL means slope for temperature T2. But students, we know that slope is nothing but resistance. तो हम ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि resistance for first case R1 is greater than resistance for the second case, because slope is nothing but resistance. So looking at the graph, हम लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है कि resistance पहले कंडक्टर का ज्यादा है, दूसरे का कम है. अब फॉर अ कंडक्टर स्टूडेंट्स, जब टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है तो रेजिस्टेंस भी बढ़ता है. तो फॉर अ कंडक्टर, फॉर अ वायर, फॉर अ कंडक्टर विथ राइज इन टेम्परेचर, जैसे ही टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है, विथ राइज इन टेम्परेचर कॉमा, रेजिस्टेंस also increase. Resistance also increase. As temperature increase, resistance also increase. Now that means that students, if R1 is greater than R2, it means that temperature T1 should be greater than temperature T2. T1 should be greater than T2. ऐसा क्यों? ऐसा इसके लिए क्योंकि R1 का रेजिस्टेंस ज्यादा है. रेजिस्टेंस ज्यादा मतलब टेम्परेचर ज्यादा. देखो एक कंडक्टर में ना, जब तुम कंडक्टर का टेम्परेचर बढ़ाओगे तो कंडक्टर के मॉलिक्यूल्स विल कीप ऑन वाइब्रेटिंग, and when the molecules of the conductor will keep on vibrating, they will collide more with the electrons and they will oppose the flow of electrons more. ज्यादा टेम्परेचर, मॉलिक्यूल्स का वाइब्रेशन ज्यादा, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के साथ कोलिशन ज्यादा, मोशन इज ऑपोज्ड मोर, मतलब रेजिस्टेंस मोर. तो टू कंक्लूड, अगर वायर का टेम्परेचर ज्यादा तो रेजिस्टेंस ज्यादा, एंड अगर वायर का टेम्परेचर कम तो रेजिस्टेंस कम. तो इन द गिवन ग्राफ डायरेक्टली अगर हम समझ सकते हैं, तो स्लोप T2 का कम है एंड स्लोप T1 का ज्यादा है. तो अगर स्लोप T1 का ज्यादा है, इट मींस दैट T1 के लिए रेजिस्टेंस इज मोर, बिकॉज स्लोप ऑफ Vi is nothing but resistance. So resistance is more for T1 and resistance is less for T2. So if resistance is more for T1, then it means that temperature will be more for T1, because temperature and resistance are directly proportional, right? तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर स्टूडेंट्स T1 greater than T2 मतलब 8, right? इसका करेक्ट आंसर इज 8. Let's move on to the next question. Dear students, if you are benefited from this lecture, make sure that you share this channel with your friends so that everyone will be informed that we had started a free live online sessions from NEET and JEE point of view. And this is a crash course, so I'll try to wrap up the entire syllabus of 11th standard really fast. Dear students, kindly support me by sharing this channel as much as you can. It gives me immense motivation to work hard for you. So let's see the question. Question में ऐसा बोल रहा है कि we have a cylindrical rod. ये जो हमारा cylindrical rod है, we are reforming it. वापस से इसको हम reform करेंगे to half of its original length. तो एक rod है, उसका जो original length है, let's consider the original length is L1. After reforming that rod, we will say that its new length becomes half the original length. So new length L2 is L1 by 2, because the new length is half the original length, half the original length. So we can say that keeping volume constant, volume हमने constant रखा. If the resistance before the reformation was capital R, then after the reformation, what is the resistance? So initial resistance before you had reformed this wire, initial resistance R1, that is R. Once you will reform it, what will be the final resistance? So we are asked to find the value for R2. What will be the value for R2? So before reforming the rod, the resistance is R1, and after reformation, what will be the resistance that they have asked? So now how to solve it? So we can say that as volume is constant, so volume before reformation is equals to volume after reformation. Reform करने के पहले वाला volume and बाद वाला volume same होगा, because volume is constant. So volume of a cylinder is pi r square h, pi r square h. So we can say that it is pi into r1 square into L1, that is h, pi r square h, and volume V2 will become equal to pi into R2 square, pi into R2 square into L2, pi into R2 square into L2, right? So pi cancel. Okay. So from this, dear students, we understand that L1 divided by L2, this ratio L1 divided by L2 is equals to R2 divided by R1 the whole square. R2 divided by R1 the whole square. Right. R2 divided by R1 the whole square. So we also know that L2 is L1 by 2. Means L1 by L2 will be 2. If I take L2 to the right, then this 2 will go to the left. So L1 divided by L2 will be equals to 2. We can say that R2 by R1 the whole square is equals to 2. Okay. Now, for a wire or a rod, resistance is directly proportional to length and resistance is inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. Resistance is directly proportional to length and resistance is inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. So from this, we understand that resistance is equals to rho, that is constant, specific constant, rho into L by A. Rho into L by A. But what is A? A is pi r square. You say that is rho into L divided by pi r square. Area is pi r square. That is pi r square. This is the equation for resistance of wire. Rho into L divided by pi r square. So we can say that the resistance R is directly proportional to L by R square. L by R square. So my dear students, I can say that R1 divided by R2 will be equal to R1 divided by R2 will be equal to. So now proportionality will be replaced by equal to because you are taking ratio. Ratio में दोनों constants कट गया. It is simply L1 divided by L2, L1 divided by L2 into R square के साथ capital R inversely related. So we can say that it is R2 divided by R1 the whole square. R2 divided by R1 the whole square. Agreed. It is like this. So students, from this we should get R1 divided by R2 will be equal to L1 divided by L2. So what is L1 divided by L2? We know that L1 divided by L2 is 2. Check. L1 divided by L2 is 2. So instead of writing L1 by L2, we will say 2 into. What is R2 by R1 the whole square? Again, that is also 2. R2 by R1 the whole square, that is also 2. So it is multiplied by 2. So 2 into 2, you are getting 4. Now let's take this 4 to the left and R2 to the right. So we should get R1 divided by 4 is equals to R2. R1 divided by 4 is R2. The correct answer is option B, R by 4. The new resistance will become R by 4. So next question, for which of the following dependences drift velocity Vd on electric current E according to Ohm's law? Means electric field E and drift velocity Vd के बीच में कौन सा रिलेशन, कौन सा डिपेंडेंस राइट है आउट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग. सबसे पहले आप एक चीज याद रखो कि जब एक वायर कोई एक्सटर्नल पावर सप्लाई, एक्सटर्नल इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के साथ कनेक्टेड नहीं रहता है, the electrons which are present inside the wire will move in random directions. So the electrons inside the wire will move in random direction if the wire is not connected to any external electric field. But the moment you connect this wire to an external electric field, so this is the wire and we connect this wire to an external electric field, then students, all the electrons within the wire के अंदर जितने भी electrons हैं will start to move in a particular direction. All the electrons within the wire के अंदर सारे electrons will start to move in a particular direction. So the speed with which all the electrons within the wire will move, that is called as drift velocity, drift speed. So this drift velocity, students, is equals to J by NE. This is the formula for drift speed, that is J by NE. Now what is J? J stands for current density. J is current density. That is, it is current flowing through the wire per unit area. Current density, current per area, I by A into N into E. This is the value of our drift velocity. So it is current density upon N. There is one more formula, students, for drift velocity. Drift velocity is directly proportional to electric field capital E. Drift velocity is directly proportional to electric field capital E. See, because see, if you are applying an external volt, अगर आप external volt लगा रहे हो, तो due to that external volt, there will be an electric field. तो उस electric field के साथ drift speed is directly proportional. अगर electric field ज़्यादा है, then the drift speed will be more. And अगर electric field कम है, then drift speed will be less. So can we say that the value of the drift speed, that is V of D, will be equal to a constant into E? Now this constant, students, is called as mobility of the electrons. This constant mu is called as mobility of electrons. कि electrons कितना अच्छे से mobile है, कितने अच्छे से electrons move कर सकते हैं. So that is mobility of electrons. Mobility of electrons. So as we know that drift speed is mu into E, and mu, mobility of electrons for a particular material, is constant. So we can say that your drift speed is directly proportional to E. The correct answer is option E. हमसे पूछा गया था कि ड्रिफ्ट स्पीड एंड इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के बीच में प्रॉपर रिलेशन कौन सा है. So the proper relation between drift speed and electric field is option A. Very good. So let's move on to the next question. You remember this formula that drift speed is mobility into E. Drift speed is mobility into E. Okay. This question, just the next one. So here in the question, they have told that charged particle has a drift speed of 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 meters second inverse. This is the drift speed of the charged particles. So they are telling that if the value of the electric field is 3 into 10 raised to minus 10 volt per meter, then mobility will be how much? Mobility kitna hoga? What do we know, students? We know that the value of the drift speed is equals to mobility into electric field. We know this, and हमसे mobility पूछा गया. So mobility mu will be drift speed by E, because see, your drift speed is directly proportional to electric field. So drift speed is equals to constant into electric field, and that constant is mobility. So it is drift speed by E. Now what is the value for drift speed? Value for drift speed is 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 4. That is the value for drift speed. 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 drift speed. And that is divided by E. What is E, students? E stands for 3 into 10 raised to minus 10. Cool. तो क्या करना है? हम लोग 7.5 divided by 3. इसको करते हैं divide. So if we divide that, we get 3 2s are 6 and 3 5s are 15. So it is 2.5 into 10 raised to plus 10 minus 6 plus 10 minus 4 plus 10 minus 4 is plus 6. So 2.5 into 10 raised to plus 6. So 2.5 into 10 raised to plus 6. That is option B. If we are thinking about the unit, अगर हम unit के बारे में सोच रहे, तो drift speed इसका unit होगा meter per second, meter per second. And electric field E, इसका unit होगा volt per meter, volt per meter. So what will get? Denominator का denominator meter ऊपर, so you get meter square divided by volt into second. Volt into second. Right. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. So pay attention. Ohm's law is applicable to who will obey Ohm's law? So Ohm's law is applicable to all metals, because metals are ohmic conductors. Ohm's law is not applicable to semiconductors. Semiconductors में Ohm's law is not applicable, क्योंकि semiconductors के लिए तुम्हारा जो VI graph बनेगा, that is not a straight line passing through origin. So Ohm's law is not applicable for semiconductors, and diodes semiconductor का कई applications है. So Ohm's law is not applicable for semiconductors. So Ohm's law is applicable if V against I का graph will be a straight line. V against I का graph will be a straight line. Ohm's law is valid for metals, not applicable for semiconductors. And अगर आपके पास alloys है, if you have alloys, then alloys का resistivity is more. Resistivity for alloys will be more. वही बचा दिया. So A is equivalent to P, B is equivalent to R, and C is equivalent to Q. So the correct answer is option B. Correct answer is option B. So the question asks, which of the following graph is correct? VI graph according to Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, because good conductor, because conductors obey Ohm's law. So we know that according to Ohm's law, voltage is directly proportional to current. So V against I graph must be a straight line. V against I graph must be a straight line because V is directly proportional to I. The graph must be a straight line passing through origin. तो ये वाला क्यों wrong है? ये wrong इसलिए है because as the temperature of the conductor increase, as the temperature increase, हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले discuss किया था, resistance increase. With rise in temperature, resistance increase, and if resistance increase, so the value of current will little bit reduce. So up to here, you can see that voltage and current are directly proportional. Voltage and current up to here are directly proportional. Beyond this point, temperature is increasing. So if temperature is increasing, students, then the value of resistance also increase. So what happens is तुम्हारा करंट उतना बढ़ नहीं पाता है क्योंकि रेजिस्टेंस बढ़ गया ना, करंट उतना बढ़ नहीं पाता है, तो वोल्टेज बढ़ गया. Means in this location, this delta I, that is change in current, is small. Change in current is small, but the value for the change in voltage will be large. Value for the change in voltage will be large. And Q, voltage के साथ करंट नहीं बढ़ा. So the reason is due to rising temperature. Temperature बढ़ने के वजह से the resistance increased, and resistance बढ़ेगा तो current उतना बढ़ नहीं पाएगा जितना voltage बढ़ेगा. So the graph is definitely not exactly straight line. हाँ, initially it was straight line, and then it slightly deviates from the straight line path. So the correct answer is option A. Right. So next question. Two copper wires have length of L and 2L, and their radius is R and 2R respectively. So what is the ratio of the specific resistance? Specific resistance यानी resistivity यानी rho. So we all know that R is proportional to L by A. R is proportional to L by A. So R is equals to rho L by A. Now that means that rho, specific resistance, is constant of proportionality. Constant of proportionality matlab the value of rho will not change. The value of rho is independent of the length and radius of the wire. So length change hone do, radius change hone do, but the value of rho always remains constant. It is independent of the length of the wire and area of cross section. That is option C. The ratio for the specific resistance of the two wires is 1:1. And the reason is specific resistance is independent of length and cross-sectional area. Radius से area change होता है ना, so cross-sectional area of the wire. So specific resistance is independent of length and cross-sectional area of the wire. Specific resistance does not depend on the length of the wire or the cross-sectional area of the wire. So length तुम्हारे L से 2L हो गया, R तुम्हारा R से 2R हो गया, तो उसकी वजह से specific resistance will not change. So the correct answer is 1:1. That is option C. With this, dear students, we can end today's session. So as I am telling you, I am a new YouTuber. I am new in this channel, and it takes a lot of time for me to edit everything and put the content for you. So it will be great helpful for me if you share this channel as much as you can. As Guru Dakshina, dear students, make sure that you hit the like button and you also share and subscribe the channel. It will give me the immense motivation to work hard for you. And seriously speaking, thank you very much for all the support that you all are giving me. I am truly obliged for that. With this, dear students, we can stop today's session. Thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, and keep on smiling forever.